but I think it's very important we talk about this. As you know, and we all know here, within the last couple playoff games, there has been a couple of fan incidents involving NBA players. Russell Westbrook being involved with the fan pouring popcorn on him, and then you have a fan in New York spitting on Trae Young, and then you had a fan that threw beer at Emmanuel quickly, and then you had three fans uh, making comments at Ja Morant's family, uh, including Morant's father's wife, made a remark towards them, and then towards his father himself. And when I seen that, it wasn't so much of the fan pouring the popcorn on Russell Westbrook. It wasn't the fan spitting on Trae Young, nor was it the beer being thrown at Manuel quickly. But when I seen this, got me to thinking about something, which brung everything together for me. A lot of people have different reactions towards this whole ordeal right here. They have reactions such as, oh, fans are just being outright belligerent, fans are just being ignorant, fans are just, don't know how to act. Joe, what's your reaction?
Stupid, really, because we done been in quarantine for over a year and a half, maybe. Mm-hmm. Close to 2 years, and everything is starting to lift up. The vaccines are kicking in, and a lot of people that are vaccinated, they actually are going out and doing whatever. Since everything is just coming into play, people don't know how to act. And now all of a sudden, they want to go back into venues and think that it's just okay. Hey, it was fine at home because it was your business. If you wanted to talk about somebody, that was your business. Ain't nobody got to know because you was at home watching the game. Mm-hmm. And so now you come in, you bring everything that you was feeling at home or however you was feeling at home, you come into these venues, arenas, and you just start acting a fool. Like if you just don't care, like if you don't have say. And it's just like what Kevin Durant said, they're just treating people. No, Kyrie Irving. It is like what he said. They're just treating people like they're human Zeus. That's got to stop. It's just got to stop. And it's crazy that people do this because maybe they don't have nothing else better else to do, or because they just don't get it yet. Even though this was happening pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. It was happening pre-COVID, but it wasn't as bad as everybody's looking at it now after COVID. So that's just, to me, it's just the ignorance, the stupidness, and people not thinking about where they're at. And if in the sense that they was actually in their own place and how people disrespect them in their own place. It's just crazy.
I got a theory. You want to hear it? Here's my theory. Now, I can't prove none of this. I'm not going to prove any of this. This is just what is in my mind, what my thought process of everything and what I think about all of this. A lot of people, like you just said, pretty much just acting stupid. And I agree with all of that. But you know me, I have to go further into thinking. I have to really sit down and dig deep and think about some things. So this is what I'm thinking. If we go back to 2020, that was a year of change. It was a year that Black people and Black athletes would not just go sit back and just let shit happen, if you know what I mean. So expanding voting rights, at sports arenas, one of the biggest changes besides protesting. You know, people was going out and making all of these protests, and Trump is just saying things and making racial remarks and attacking Black Lives Matter movements, and they just everything just started happening. So when Black folks started to get out on the streets, and when Black athletes started to get out on the streets, those white folks that just sat there and that support white supremacy are like, how dare these niggers? How dare these niggers come out and do this? How dare do they do that? We need to put them in their place. Fine, we'll do that. We'll let you. We'll go back. We'll go back to the streets, and we're gonna do this. You know what I mean? We're gonna do this. We're gonna take our butts right back to the street and speak out there. So not only did you see that, you started seeing the NBA, the NFL, the MLS, the MLB, and the NHL all at once start opening voting centers for people. The Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, the Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, the Houston Texans, the Indianapolis Colts, Kansas City Chiefs, the Rams, and the Chargers in their own stadiums. Then you have the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then the Washington football team. Not to mentioning that they changed the name of their mascot later to be known that we still don't know yet, simply because of the history behind the name of the Redskins. Then you have the Hawks, the Nets, the Hornets, the Cavaliers, the Mavericks, the Nuggets, the Pistons, the Warriors, the Rockets, the Pacers, the Clippers in the Forum, and the Lakers in Staples Center, the Grizzlies, the Bucks, the Knicks, the Thunder, the Magic, the Suns, the Kings, the Spurs, the Jazz, and the Wizards. You go further down than that with just the WNBA. Now, most of them are sharing arenas, but the Washington Mystics, with their entertainment and sports arena, opened up a voting center for them, for people to go out and vote. Baseball, Oilers, Red Sox, Dodgers, Brewers, National, NHL, the Kings, the New Jersey Devils, and the New York Rangers all did the same thing. Major League Soccer did it with Los Angeles FC and the Seattle Sounders. These are teams that went out and said, you know what? We're not just going to sit here and let shit happen. So how do you go about that? How do you stop that? You can't stop it. You just cannot stop it. So when people are angry, things are bound to get done, especially Black people. When Jacob Blake got shot, games were canceled all across the board. 45 minutes prior to the Bucks game, they decided they were going to do a boycott led by George Hill. After that, the Rockets, the Thunders, the Lakers, the Trailblazers, all boycotted. Right behind that, Kenny Smith. If I could have a bigger voice of what Kenny Smith did by going off and walking off that set on TNT, I will do that. But I have to do it right now. I admire Kenny Smith for getting up, walking off that set, because there are too many things that was going on in 2020 that we had no answers for. So he got up and walked off the set to support the players right behind him. WNBA, before you know it, didn't play games. MLB didn't play scheduled games. You have got to remember, when we have people entertaining us, they got feelings too. You know, they got feelings. So how can you sit there and say that hashtag All Life Matters means something, and you can't even grasp the basic concept of the things that was going on in 2020? So my theory is a lot of people are showing their wrath from the year 2020. That's my theory. Anything else you want to add?
Notice where those attacks and retaliations came from. All Black players.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All Black players. Not one white player. None of them. Black players. They all been targeted.
Yep.
That was probably part of the supremacy.
The people are just like, for real? Y'all ruined our entertainment because of y'all feelings? Okay. So we're going to go out here and make sure to show y'all something when we get back into these arenas. See, most of that stuff have a consequence, which is not cool, but there's a consequence behind everything. But this was a good consequence because the NBA and these sports players did something right. Not only did they open up voting centers, but they made sure they went out and protest as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a good move. I'm not thinking about them. But that's what they did. That's my theory. They are retaliating for 2020. All the stuff that went on. That's just my theory.